fight it out.
I want to know who at Capcom thought that was, like, okay.
Presumably the ones that wanted it to make money.
Same with not giving any fight money for, like, regular, casual matches.
I'm actually not surprised they didn't do that.
Because people could cheese it or something. It would it would still take for fucking ever.
Yeah. They could give you like 5 fight money or something per match.
Hell, even 10 would be fine. I say, no, give me double.
I'll show no mercy.
It seems to be getting chilly.
I will show no mercy.
Same with having to fucking buy colors instead of wasting all of your precious years in life doing survival mode.
At least they made survivor mode do other things.
Well, I mean, it used to give you fight money, now it just gives you colors.
No, it doesn't. Well, it gives you that, but then it also gives you shots at the gacha system.
That's true.
It's so nice.
I think I'd rather have fight money, though. Because, I mean, you could still use that fight money on the gacha.
Which is kind of funny when you think about it.
Instead of having to spend real money, you can spend fake money.
Yeah, except they want you to spend real money. That's the point.
It's not gonna work, Capcom. I refuse.
Like I said, I don't have to like it, but I do understand what they're doing and why.
I mean, I understand and I know why, but I refuse.
Too busy with the other gacha games for that one.
And I don't spend money on those either.
Fair.
I suggest you stay.
I've occasionally spent money.
I have I have like the opposite sort of impulse control as Das does.
Oh man, what was that character's name on In Living Color? I can't remember. The guy Chris Rock played. Good lord, that's a lot of money.
I'm amazed anybody else remembers In Living Color, to be completely honest.
Really? I would think most people our age would probably remember it to some degree.
I mean, I remember it because, like, it was a watched show at my household.
Oddly enough, I actually didn't get to watch it for a while. My parents forbade me from watching it for a while.
I forget, wasn't Jim Carrey in it too?
Yes, he was.
Playing
A
the
whole
fire.
bunch of people were on that show. The
Playing
Wayans were on that show.
Playing the fire marshal, I think.
Yes.
Being Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that was probably the most notable thing he did on that show.
Ah, shit, yeah, I think In Living Color was also Homie Don't Play That, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. That was
Homie the Clown.
standard Damon Wayans.
Just in case anybody watching the show wondered how old we were.
Yeah.
Now you know, we're old.
So old.
How old? I am this many.
So, this weekend was the weekend of the wrestling. It was SummerSlam weekend.
This weekend was the weekend of the wrestling, he says. I thought that was every weekend, or every week.
Well, Mondays and Tuesdays, sure, but I mean, like, literally, this is the week that you have 4 nights worth of wrestling instead of 2.
Soon wrestling will be the entire week.
Good. I hope not. It's already a lot as it is. I may enjoy it, but that doesn't mean it isn't a lot. I think basically, I don't think, usually when we have a week like this, you know, they have the Big Four weekend, and they have the quote-unquote developmental show. You have NXT, and then you have the main show, WrestleMania or SummerSlam or what have you. And everybody's like always like, oh, you know, NXT was way better than the main roster show. This week, this time, I don't really think that's really true, which is a huge shock to me, because every show this weekend was good. Both shows were good. They have this guy on NXT, him basically Johnny Gargano, and he's his former tag team guy, Tommaso Ciampa. They worked as a tag team. They won a title. They lost the title, and then Tommaso Ciampa turned on Johnny Gargano.
As you do when you lose your title.
Yes, that's pretty much how it goes. You team up, you're best buddies, you break up, you know, you lose your title, you break up, and one of those guys turns heel inevitably. So Ciampa basically, there is a recurring thing with these two guys. I'm pretty sure you know about this, but any people who don't necessarily watch wrestling know that if you're watching a WWE show, at least when the show is over, there's this little title thing in the corner, and that is usually your indication that nothing else is going to occur. That's right before they fade out when you're done after that. So they've been doing a thing repeatedly where they're constantly abusing your expectation of that. Because the night they lost their last attempt at the tag titles.
Trying to comb your hair, you're wearing a hat.
Yep. How does he have his hair under that hat anyway?
Well, I mean, how do you think he styles his hair in the first place? I assume product.
True.
It's like when Paul Phoenix has his hair down.
Okay, but yeah, basically, so Ciampa became just the biggest heel ever. He just became just awful, grungy, terrible. It's so bad that not only does he not have a theme song, the boos that he gets when he comes out are his theme song. He is just like, and basically NXT is held in a relatively small arena, like it's a pretty small, intimate place, and they tape a bunch of episodes all at once, and they're in the same place every time. So the crowd there is different from a lot of other shows. They're very familiar with the crowd.
Hold on, let me comb my hat.
Yep. So the wrestlers will do things like get in the crowd's faces, like for real, which is something they usually don't do that much of anymore. And Ciampa will get right up in people's faces. There's a couple of scenes where there's like this elderly lady, this granny, sitting up front on the barrier, and she like was just shouting at his face and doing the thumbs down, and he got all up in her face. And then a few weeks later, she did the same thing to her after he had won the title. Which I'll get to in a second. So basically, after they beat each other up at the end and betrayed, and Ciampa betrayed his partner, both of them got injured and they were gone for a while. And Gargano came back first. So Gargano went on, he started trying to, get his stuff together. He was going for singles titles, and what ultimately happened with him was he basically went to challenge somebody, lost, and then when he went to try again, he basically put his career on the line. Oh wait, there was another thing that happened before that. So basically, he had a match with a guy who ended up becoming the champ later, and after he lost to this guy, Ciampa showed up, clobbered him on the back of the head with a crutch. He did this after the little title thing, by the way.
There's no escape.
Like, okay, it's over, and all of a sudden, here comes Ciampa, pow. So anyways, then Gargano put his title on the line, put his career on the line, and Gargano showed up again, interfered in the match, and caused him to lose his job. So this wasn't over. Of course, it's not over, because Gargano kept showing up unsolicited and just getting in Ciampa's face all the time. there was actually a post that Ciampa did on Twitter, like on social media, where he recorded Gargano beating on his door at 4 in the morning. Like it was like they went the full mile with this.
Fight me, you coward.
Right, exactly. Like you know, you got to answer for what you did. So basically, in being asked, you know, and asking the general manager to solve this problem somehow, the general manager instead decided to put them in an unsanctioned match. If Ciampa won, Gargano was gone. If Gargano won, he got his job back. So Gargano won that match. It was a pretty brutal one. But then Ciampa was still getting involved with his nonsense. Gargano tried to have a title match with another guy named Aleister Black, and before he even got to the ring, Ciampa showed up and beat him up and put him on a stretcher. Messed up his neck. So then Gargano came back, completely unhinged, and they had a street fight. So this street fight only served to prove that Gargano is now becoming the dumbest person on the face of the planet. So in this fight, at one point Ciampa tears up the mat on the ring and exposes the wood underneath. But before he gets to do anything with that, Gargano, gets him, fights with him some more and end up fighting to the stage. At one point, Ciampa gets Gargano knocked out, takes his wedding ring off and spits on it and tosses it away. When Gargano comes to and realizes what happens, he just goes completely berserk. Oh, that was a bad move. So, as a result of this, he just starts just railing on Ciampa, just beating the living daylights out of him. He gets a pair of handcuffs his hands together, starts dragging him all over the arena. So all the while this is happening, the refs are coming in and trying to stop Johnny from doing what he's doing, and he just starts beating him up, just throwing them all off, just beating them all up. So he finally gets back in the ring and he goes to to finish off Ciampa. He gets him in his finisher, which is submission, and Ciampa's tapping, but all the refs are beat up. So then Ciampa manages to trick him and DDTs him on that exposed wood. Gargano had at least one point before that happened where he could have pinned Ciampa and finished the match, and he didn't. It's the dumbest motherfucker on the face of the planet.
Hold that thought.
Mm-hmm.
Next time on Bro vs. Bro, more wrestling. Wrestling.
Yep.